Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we're in the shop and we've got the Corvette behind us. Well, continuing our last video, we had fixed up the bumper here, specifically on this corner. And as you guys saw, we filled in all the missing chunks off this bumper with the pieces of plastic that we cut off and glued in using the Vicrez panel bond material. So today what we're actually doing is we're going to prepare this corner to put that on the car, and then we're actually going to mount it. So basically what we'll be doing is test fitting it, making sure that we're good to go, and then we're probably going to cut the bumper in half. That probably won't be this video, but that will be in a future project that's coming up. And to kick off this video, I needed to make a template of the passenger side, the side that's not broke. And basically what you have here, you got your two slits, you got this long one here, the shorter one here, and you've got your 4 holes. And these are basically what you're going to use to line up your bracket and all the stuff that we need to modify on the bumper itself. So as you guys can see, I marked 4 holes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the spots that we're going to have to cut using a cutoff wheel. All right, so we got the appropriate sized drill bit in my Milwaukee handheld drill, and the smaller bit will go on the outside, and then the larger holes will go both on the inside. So let's go ahead, start drilling this, and we should be good. All right, so we got both outside holes drilled in. Now we need to do the inner. All right, so we got our holes drilled. There's all 4 of them. This one I kind of messed up on a little bit, but honestly, if we have to, we can just fill that in with a little bit of plastic filler and we'll be good. So what we need to do next is fire up the air compressor, get that thing fully going, and we'll use a cutoff wheel to cut this slot here and then the smaller slot in the back. All right, guys, we have finished the bumper modifications. We got our 4 holes drilled. Like I said, we kind of messed up this back one, but we can obviously fix that if that's going to be a problem. We got our 2 slots cut out, as you guys saw, and if you guys can see, I actually did enlarge these a little bit. I ended up using a jigsaw with the wood cutting bit, just because trying to control that cutoff wheel inside there was kind of a pain. So with those 4 holes done, those 2 slots done, we should be good to go mount this over on the car. Alright guys, we got the bumper off. Alright guys, so we got my C6 Z06 bumper off the car. we got the black C06 bumper that we need to put on the car, and this wasn't too difficult. It's really just a bunch of 7 and 10 millimeter bolts. Your 7 millimeters are connecting the side. So throughout right here, the side, there's 3 or 4 on the bottom. There's 10 millimeter. There's the studs. They're here, so there's 2 here, 2 on the driver's side stud. And then there's some 10 millimeter bolts and nuts on the bottom as well. So once you get all that off, you're able to get the whole front of the car off. And you guys probably don't need to put paint down, but I do it anyway just to protect all the surfaces. And the front is wrapped with PPF. So it is front of the quarters and the entire front bumper. So that all is covered. But yeah, so just a lot of things to disconnect. Your side markers, your fog lights. Oh, the brake ducts. That's another thing you gotta disconnect. So it's just a bunch of stuff. And now we're ready to fit this bumper to the car. All right, guys, you can see that we've got the Corvette still on the left for this bumper project. You guys might see some stuff under here that's changed. We've got a couple videos coming up because we did do some work on some stuff underneath the car behind the bumper, but those will be for future videos, and we'll try not to show you those today, but those will be coming up over the next couple weeks. The last part of this video basically is us just trying to fit the bumper to the car. I mean, it's stock, it should fit without issue. But the one thing I want to check is going to be the driver's side fender corner, where we basically had to recreate the mounting surface on the top as well as the side in that corner. So let's go ahead, try to get this in. Like I said, it should bolt right up, but you never know. We made some changes under here and we might have to move some stuff around. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the passenger side is in. The slats are all good. There shouldn't be any issue here because it is factory bumper, kind of like we've said. Gaps look pretty good on the headlight over here. And over here on the passenger side, we have the holes drilled. You guys can't really see it. Well, you can kind of see it. There's going to be a stud here and a stud here. The thing that we may not have lined up properly are the slots. There's a slot here, and a slot up front. So, all right, so everything seems to be lining up with the fenders, the part of the bumper that goes up over and under the hood. That's all lining up pretty well. The passenger side is pretty much lined up. You know, we're pretty much good to go there. The one surprise I have is it almost looks like we made the bumper too long. If you guys can see, you know, it looks like we might be a solid 1/4 inch too long, but that's not a bigger deal. I can always cut that off, re-glue it and whatever. So I actually thought we were gonna have to redo this part, so that's not an end of the world situation. It's not that bad. The problem I'm running into is actually the front slot that we cut. I thought it was long enough. It's actually too short on the front, and the rear hole, so there's 2 studs that come in. The second stud, I think I need to make the hole a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and get the bumper back off. We'll make this slot bigger, make that hole, that stud in the back bigger, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we have gotten the driver's side fitting really well. There's no huge gaps. There's no real major mistakes or anything that we made. Like I said, I had to enlarge that front slot right here. I just used my jigsaw and cut that out a little bit. I widened both holes that the stud goes through, just that way it gives it more room to play, you know, more room to move around. And yeah, like, we have closed up this gap a lot. The shadow that you're seeing is, well, partially because the light's coming from underneath, but also if you guys follow the body line, it kind of goes down and then back up. when I was sanding this, when I was sanding the Vicrez 101, I obviously sanded it a little bit too much and created a low spot. So I kind of knew I was going to have to fill this in. So basically, I'll have to fill this in, let it dry, sand it, and we'll do that. But all of the mounting holes are lining up really well, you know, for the fender liner. So that's all good. The only other spot that you guys will be able to see, you might see a blue outline here. If you guys can see, I used a marker and kind of highlighted that. I'm going to have to cut that out. That's the last spot where we really have two pieces hitting each other. And what that is, it's the fender liner is hitting the bumper, you know, kind of the flange that we had to replicate. So that really is the only other spot that I need to trim to make this thing fit really well. So I've got a couple more cuts to make on the black bumper. Obviously over on the driver's side, we got to cut out that one little piece where the fender liner is hitting the flange. We'll have to cut that out. But honestly, guys, for the first time really doing a patch together job, if that's what we want to call it, and it's not that far off from looking really good, you know, I'm actually pretty proud of that. You know, for, like I said, this is the first time I've ever messed with plastics in this fashion, and I think we're doing pretty well. But that's actually going to be it for today's video. Basically, all we were trying to do was fit the bumper, make sure that corner was a good starting point, and it is. Pretty much just need to put a little bit more of the plastic material in it, sand it down, and we should be good to go, getting those body lines to match up really well. So I think the next video that you guys will see in a C6 to C7 Z01 bumper video, I think it'll be us splitting the C7 bumper as well as splitting the C6 bumper and getting that all attached together. If you guys want to see that video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications, that way you know when I upload new videos. And if you guys want to help support the channel, check out all the links down below and make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.